The shower cut off. I'm going back to my room. I slid off the bed, my voice raspier than I expected. 2 months of abstinence turned the man into a menace. Lucian stepped out in a towel, droplets racing from his collarbones down to the ridges of his abs. He slipped on the gold-rimmed glasses from the nightstand. Behind the lenses his eyes were flat, unreadable. 2 years, 730 nights. And the routine after every encounter was always identical. The merger contract spelled out espousal duties when necessary, but said nothing about sharing the same pillow afterward. As I turned, I caught the faintest sigh. 2 months on the road and I live for this night. God knows when the next one will come. I whipped around. Lucian's lips were sealed. He was tying the sash of his robe, long fingers threading silk, lashes never flickering. What is it? He met my stare, voice glacier cool. I glared at his pale mouth. It hadn't moved, yet the low, disappointed cadence was unmistakably his. Did you just say something? No. He reached for the glass on the nightstand. His throat worked beautifully as he drank. She smells extra good today. Gardenias. New body wash? There it was again. No hallucination this time. It had to be Lucian's voice. Before I knew it I heard myself. I'm wiped. Maybe I'll crash here tonight. The tumbler clinked against marble. He pivoted. Every facial muscle locked. Expressionless, suit yourself. Holy ancestor above. She said yes. Thank heaven I changed the sheets to that Italian silk set she loves. Wait, does she need a softer pillow? She said the last one was too firm. Wait, why is she staying? Did she find out I swiped her earrings? No, they're in the safe. I bit my lip until it throbbed to keep from laughing. So that's why earrings kept vanishing. Inside job. The tycoon who made Wall Street quiver had the inner composure of a frantic rookie. Outwardly a statue, but his Adam's apple bobbed with guilty nerves. Changed my mind. I pivoted toward the door. I've got board meeting prep. She's yanking my chain again. The inner voice deflated. I pictured a soaked mastiff drooping in the rain. She was so sweet 20 minutes ago. Hand on the knob. I felt my temple throb. You're so dead, Lucian. Actually, I can wake up early and prep. I let go of the handle. I'm beat. Let's sleep. He was smoothing already perfect corners. His fingers stilled. I swear the corner of his mouth twitched. Show off. Jason, cancel the breakfast meeting. I finally get to spoon my fragrant wife. Quick. Brush again. Might get to kiss her. I look presentable. Mirror check. When the bathroom door shut I heard him humming off-key through the water noise, our wedding song. Perfect. Frosted glass showed him fussing with his hair. Cologne. Too obvious. Toothpaste too minty. Does she like that? I tiptoed closer, then thump. You okay? Face wash slipped. Steam muffled him. Damn. Banged my knee. Can't yelp. I burst out laughing, covered it with a cough. His phone on the nightstand lit up. The lock screen froze my lungs, my silhouette in the conservatory. White dress dappled by glass roof sunlight. When did you steal that? Water off. I dove under the covers and pretended to scroll. From the corner of my eye he emerged, towel drying his hair. Dry it before you sleep. You'll get a headache. Lucian's hands paused. Fireworks detonated behind his eyes. She's worried about me? I pulled him into the bath, aimed the dryer, running fingers through dark strands. Warm air brushing his ears. He dipped his head, a faint smile tugging. Wife's blow-drying my hair. Best day ever. The hum filled the room. His gaze never left my face. Hold still. Almost done. He gave a soft and leaned against me. Finished. I clicked it off and walked out. Already. Wanted more. Come to bed. I patted his side. Lights out, he said. Her collarbones. Whoa. Lucian. Be a gentleman. Darkness dropped. I clearly heard him swallow. Our king bed had space for 2 more bodies. My foot accidentally brushed his calf. Lightning snap. Instant retreat. Cold. Her circulation must be worse. Have nutritionist fix the menu. I rolled toward him, studying the moonlit profile. He lay corpse straight, breath artificially even. When I inched closer, pretending to be cold, the voice exploded. Help, she's snuggling. Where do I put my hand? Waist too forward. Her hair. Chew, did I wake you? Instant apology. Voice taut. I mumbled groggily, nestled my head on his shoulder, arm across his waist, fingers pressing the rigid muscle I felt there. Kill me now. Who can take this? Little Lucian staging a coup. Do I dare go for round 2 and scare her off? Morning light poured through the picture window. I woke sprawled across Lucian. He was already up, propped against the headboard, tablet in hand, gold glasses perched on his nose, gaze glacially focused on email. I started to slide away, then heard, if she sleeps sleeps 5 more minutes. I'll kill the 9 o'clock. I froze. Looked up. His face never changed. Fingers kept scrolling. I deliberately nuzzled his shoulder. Voice syrupy with sleep. A morning. Lucian glanced down. Tone flat. Morning. Her voice, so soft. I swallowed a laugh. Feigned casual, crazy schedule today? Cross-border call. If she pouts and asks me to stay, I'll bump it. I stretched. Drawled, sure, then I'll breakfast alone. His finger froze over the screen. Was that a pout? That was a pout. She wants me to stay. Stone-faced. He speed-dialed at Jason. Push 9 to this afternoon. Jason sputtered, but Europe, reschedule. Click. Nailed it. At breakfast, I buttered toast with snail speed. Watching him. Across from me sat the picture of boardroom perfection. Tailored suit. Surgical cuts of omelet. Corporate machine. Strawberry jam on her lips. So red. I flicked my tongue. Caught stray jam. Lucian's knife screeched across porcelain. Lethal. I rested my chin on laced fingers. What time will you be home? Unclear. If she says she'll miss me, I'm back by 6. I beamed. I'll wait for you. She will. She said wait. Watching his cool mask battle the inner ticker tape parade, I decided, teasing him might be addictive. Tonight is Caldwell's annual gala. I'm wearing a black gown cut high at the waist. The moment I step into the ballroom, I feel Lucian's gaze land between my shoulder blades. That skirt's too short, isn't it? I ignore him on purpose, pivoting to greet a cluster of executives. Chen from marketing smiles and hands me a flute of champagne. You look stunning tonight. Caldwell. Before I can take it, a long, knife-veined hand slices in and lifts the glass away. Lucian stands beside me, face unreadable, voice cool. She's allergic to alcohol. Chen's smile freezes. Oh, sorry. I didn't know. I bat my lashes. Actually, Lucian flicks me a look. Try taking a sip and see what happens. I press my lips together to keep from laughing and behave. A few minutes later, a young R&D engineer, Leo, comes over, all enthusiasm, to talk about the new modern art exhibit. He's a collector. We hit it off, and he even pulls out his phone to show me a few pieces he's bought. I lean in for a better look when an icy voice rises behind me. Engineer Lin. Leo spins around and almost drops his phone. M. Caldwell. Lucian. One hand in his pocket. Tone flat. I want the Europe branch draft on my desk by 8 tomorrow. Leo pales, but that deadline is next Wednesday. Tomorrow morning, Lucian repeats, steel in every syllable. Leo shuffles off looking like a puppy headed to the vet. I arch a brow at Lucian. You did that on purpose. He sips his champagne. Business is business. That punk was half a centimeter from brushing my wife's hand. I almost snort. So the iceberg CEO is a walking jar of jealousy. Good to know. After the gala, we're back at the mansion. I stretch. Languid. Exhausted. Perfect night for a bath. He gives a low unfastening his cufflinks. A soak will help you sleep. Should I offer to join her? I nearly choke on my own spit. Lucian's face is Sunday school solemn, but inside he's tossing confetti. Lucian. The zipper's in back. Can't reach. His fingers pause. He walks over, pulls the zipper down, and the gown slithers to the carpet. She planned this. If I bleed on the rug, it's her dry cleaning bill. I glance back. All innocence. I'll go run the water. Then, Lucian draws a slow breath. Voice husky. Sure. I'm toast. I shut the bathroom door and finally burst out laughing. Mind reading is the best toy ever. Lucian's out of town. 3rd Europe trip this year. Always in a rush. Never a goodbye kiss. Under our old rules, that wouldn't even be on the table. But since the day his thoughts started slipping into my head, the math has changed. 10 p.m. My phone lights up. Video call request from Lucian. I accept. His face fills the screen. Hotel suite office. Cold white light. Brows like blades. Still awake? The baritone is gravel and velvet. Reviewing the exhibition plan. I prop the phone closer. It's 3 a.m. your time. Why aren't you sleeping? His lashes drop while he swipes a tablet. File to finish. Miss her. I fight a grin. Oh, well, don't let me keep you. Wait. His voice tightens. I tilt my head. What? House security system upgraded? Heads up. All business again. Talk for 5 more minutes. I swallow the laugh and panned the camera around the bedroom. Windows locked. Door chained. Alarm armed. Happy? He gives a curt nod. Her pajama top is slipping off one shoulder again. Deliberate? I peer down at my silky cami, then lean a fraction closer to the lens. Any other inspections? Lucian's inhale crackles through the speaker. She's killing me on purpose. Then notice a locked drawer on the bottom left. Curiosity makes me try our anniversary. His birthday. Fail. On a whim, I punch in my own birthday. Click. Inside. Ticket stubs lie in a neat stack. Every indie romance. Every blockbuster I'd ever offhandedly said, looks cute, from last week's art house film he'd magically had time for. All the way back 2 years. The top stub holds a scribble. I kept every one she mentioned. My throat tightens. Heat floods my chest. That afternoon Lucian is back. I'm halfway down the stairs when I meet Jason, his assistant, carrying a folder. He dips his head. Caldwell, Papers for Lucian. I nod. He's in the study. Jason's gaze lingers on my face a beat too long. Then he turns. Something about that split-second look needles me. I follow. Hovering outside the door, Jason steps inside. The door doesn't quite latch. I catch fragments. She mustn't find out. Keep digging. My fingers curl against the jamb. What is Lucian investigating without telling me? I wake past midnight to a low murmur. Since the day the voices started, I've been sleeping in his room, half awake. I realize Lucian is talking in his sleep. I only wanted her. I push up on an elbow. Moonlight carves stress lines across his forehead. Sweat beads his temples. Bad dream. I reach to shake him, then freeze as the next words tumble out. Serena's parents crash. Wasn't my order. The sentence is a shard of ice in my chest. I sit motionless. What does that mean? Is he connected to their accident? 5 years ago Mom and Dad died in a wreck the police chalked up to break failure. Why would Lucian say? His breathing evens, but his brow stays furrowed. I hesitate, then nudge his shoulder. Lucian? His eyes snap open. For a heartbeat, they hold raw darkness. When they focus on me, the edge melts into softness. Then shutters closed. Bad dream. I keep my tone light. He pushes up, rubbing his face. Did I wake you? What did I say? I study him. Not a ripple betrays him now. Nothing. Can't remember. He throws the covers back and heads for the bathroom. Sorry. By dawn he's gone to the office. I drive straight to the cemetery on the outskirts of town. 2 matching headstones. Photographs smiling under a thin coat of dust. I wipe them clean. If your accident wasn't random, I whisper, I'll find out who made it happen. Next stop. The traffic division that handled the case. Thanks to the Caldwell name. The clerk hands over the file. Every page insists the same story. Mechanical failure. Pure accident. I photograph every sheet anyway. Then step into the parking lot. My phone buzzes with a text from an unknown number. Want the real story. 8 p.m. tonight. Blue. Booth 9. My thumb hovers. Pulse hammers. Who knows I'm looking. 8 o'clock finds me in a baseball cap and mask, slipping through Blue's side entrance. Booth 9 is tucked at the end of a dim corridor. I knock. Come in, a man calls. The door swings open to reveal a figure in a dove-gray suit. Back to the window. He turns slowly. He's the second son of Vance. Every muscle in my body snapped tight. Vance and Caldwell have been mortal enemies for years. Their war of shadows growing bloodier by the quarter. Lucian had never let a single Vance employee breathe the same air as me, and now Derek had sought me out. Caldwell, the stories don't do you justice, Derek greeted, flashing a perfect trust fund grin as he gestured to the chair opposite him. Forgive the ambush. I stayed standing. What do you want? He chuckled, slid a slim folder from his briefcase, and pushed it across the marble table. About your parents' accident. Something tells me your husband left out a few footnotes. I looked down. My pupils shrank to pinpricks. It was a post-crash vehicle inspection report, dated 3 days after the wreck. The summary line shouted up at me, clear evidence of tampering with brake lines. The air jammed in my throat. The police file was sanitized, Derek hissed, venom cozying into my ear. The man who signed the whitewash order, your beloved father-in-law, Chairman Caldwell. My thoughts turned to white noise. The Caldwells really killed my parents. Derek kept talking, but the words funneled away. Then a memory slammed into me, raw and unstoppable. Final exam week. 7 years ago, I'd slipped out the library's back exit and found a guy sprawled on the concrete, pale, drenched in cold sweat, fingers locked around an insulin pen. I'd called 911, ridden with him to the left only after the doctor promised he'd make it. Weeks later, campus rumor identified the stranger. Caldwell's crown prince. Lucian had every moment since been choreography. Derek's voice jerked me back. The Caldwells owe you 2 lives. I shot to my feet. Papers fluttered like wounded birds. Prove it. My voice cracked. Besides this so-called report, what else have you got? Derek sipped his espresso with maddening calm. Ask Lucian yourself. He rose, leaned close enough that his breath stirred my hair. Or crack the safe in his study. The mansion was pitch black when I got back. Lucian wasn't home. I headed straight for the study, heart jackhammering. The safe sat recessed behind a shelf of leather-bound annuals. 6-digit code. I typed my birthday before I could second guess. Click. Inside, yellowed photos, contracts, envelopes. I yanked them out. The top photograph froze my blood. Surveillance shots of me, starting freshman year. But I hadn't met Lucian until junior year. What did any of this have to do with the crash? I kept digging. A moleskin notebook appeared. His handwriting logged our first meeting and Dad's refusal of an engagement deal. I'd never known Dad had turned Lucian down, so why the sudden U-turn? There were also clandestine dossiers on my family and time-stamped photos of a shouting match days before the accident. I sank onto the leather sofa, the old photo trembling between my fingers like a trapped moth. Outside, rain hurled itself against the windows. Thunder cracked, lightning bleaching the room. Headlights sliced through the storm. Lucian. The front door opened. Footsteps climbed. When he pushed the study door, our eyes locked. Rain dripped from his black hair. His suit coat was folded over one arm. His silk tie loosened. Seeing the photo in my hand, his pupils contracted. Serena. Low, husky, edged with steel. She knows. I stood and slapped the print onto the coffee table. Explain. Caldwell. His throat flexed as he loosened the tie another inch. How did you find those? Wrong question. My voice quivered. Was your father involved in my parents' death? And did you hide it? He set his coat on the desk before answering. It's not what it looks like. Enlighten me. I glared. Derek says the crash report was altered, and your father gave the order. Lucian's gaze sharpened to a blade. You met with Derek? That bastard. Answer me. I shouted. Was our marriage just penance for your father's sins? His jaw locked. Eyes blackened. No, but I did approach you at first to get to the truth. The floor seemed to drop. So you knew. My whisper barely made sound. You've been lying since day one. He stepped closer, reaching for my hand. I flung him off. I can't explain. Urgency cracked his usual ice. Explain what? I gave a brittle laugh. How you engineered our meeting, or how Daddy Dearest arranged my parents' funeral. His face went arctic. My father is no murderer. Then interpret these. I hurled the photos. They snowflaked around him. One landed at his Italian leather toe. Dad yelling. His father stone-faced. Lucian bent, knuckles white as he retrieved the shot. They argued. Yes, but the breaks, that wasn't him. Show me proof. Tears scalded my eyes. He hesitated, still compiling. Can't drag her into Vance's crosshairs, it's too dangerous. I heard the thought and almost laughed. How noble. 7 years. Lucian. My throat closed. 7 years and you've handed me nothing but fairy tale drafts. His jaw bulged, emotion storming behind his eyes. Give me a little more time. No. I turned toward the door. We're done. He crossed the room in 2 strides, locking my wrist. You can't leave. I twisted. Let go. His grip was an iron cuff. Outside is not safe right now. I'll take my chances. I sneered. Compared to you, whoever wants me dead sounds honest. Darkness flooded his stare. What exactly did Derek promise you? At least he offered truth. He fed you bait sprinkled with arsenic. Lucian's voice cracked like a whip, a vein ticking in his temple. Vance is behind everything. They're hunting you. I barked a laugh. Oh, now it's the Vance bogeyman. Please, Lucian. Even your scapegoats need rehearsals. His chest rose and fell, pain flashing, a foreign sight. She doesn't believe me. Then, suddenly, he freed my arm and stepped back. Fine. The abrupt surrender stunned me. He walked to the desk, pulled a folder from the drawer, and held it out. Divorce papers. My heart lurched. His mask was marble again, voice raw gravel. Sign. And you're free tonight. This is the only shield I can give her. I stared. These weren't standard divorce papers. They were an asset transfer agreement. Every share, property, trust fund Lucian controlled would pass to me the moment I inked my name. What game is this? I lifted my gaze. Shrug. You want it out. Take everything. Own Caldwell. And even Vance won't dare touch her. He thought money could armor plate me. That realization detonated fury. You believe cash can resurrect the dead? I flung the folder. Pages fluttered across the Persian rug. What dollar amount equals 2 graves? Lucian? He said nothing. Eyes bottomless. My phone buzzed. A breaking news alert. Breaking. Caldwell of massive fraud. SEC opens probe photo. Lucian mobbed by flashbulbs outside financial. I lifted the screen. Care to comment? He glanced. Unfazed. Textbook Vance smear. Predictable. Cheap tricks. My stomach plummeted. That night I packed. Lucian didn't bar the door. He stood at the picture window. A tall silhouette against the city glitter. Arms hanging useless. As I rolled my suitcase into the rain, his thought drifted after me, ragged. Almost broken. Don't go. But I've run out of reasons she'll believe. I tightened my grip on the handle and never looked back. The strange thing was, the moment I stepped out of the villa, my mind-reading gift went dead. For the next 3 days, Caldwell was buried under a mudslide of bad press. First came the cooked books, then environmental violations, finally dirt dug up from 20 years ago. Lucian's father was photographed being questioned in the hospital, and Lucian himself vanished from public view. I tried to call him every time, straight to voicemail. On the 4th morning, my apartment announcement buzzer rang. Jason stood outside, face grim. "Ma'am, the boss sent me to pick you up." "Go where?" "Somewhere safe." He dropped his voice. "Vance, people are already watching you." My stomach lurched. "Lucian?" A flicker of something complicated crossed Jason's eyes. "The sec took him." Jason drove me to a safe house on the edge of town. The place was sparsely furnished, but every inch of wall was pinned with photos and documents, every shred of the investigation into my parents' crash. "What are these?" My fingers trembled over a yellowed police report. Jason sucked in a breath. "The truth Caldwell's been chasing for years." He opened a laptop and pulled up surveillance footage. A black sedan parked at the garage my parents had used the day before the wreck. A baseball-capped man slipping underneath. "Hired by Vance." Jason tapped the blurry logo in the corner. "Garage is Vance-owned." My blood turned to ice. So it really was them. "Old Caldwell did argue with your father," Jason said, pulling up a contract. "Vance tricked your dad into signing a reckless bet. Caldwell tried to stop it, but my father wouldn't believe him." I pressed a hand to my chest. The pain felt physical. Jason nodded. "After the crash, Caldwell used every connection to bury the sabotage evidence. Vance threatened to come after you." My knuckles whitened on the table edge. "Why didn't Lucian tell me?" "Vance owns people inside the bureau." Jason gave a bitter smile. "If we tipped them off, the proof would disappear, and you'd be the next target. Lucian would rather you hate him and stay alive." The words slammed into me like a fist. I jerked my head up. Was that Jason's voice? Inside my head, my gift was back. Jason handed me a flash drive. "Caldwell said to give you this if things went sideways." I plugged it in. Lucian's pre-recorded image filled the screen. Black shirt, tired eyes. His study behind him. "Serena, if you're seeing this, the plan's already derailed." His voice was low. "Everything about your parents is here." The feed cut to an audio clip. "Clean it up. Don't leave loose ends like the Sue job." "Derek's father. Relax. This time we take out the Caldwells too." The screen snapped back to Lucian. "Vance killed your parents, and now they're gunning for Caldwell. Evidence is backed up at Swiss. Password's your birthday." A pause. His eyes softened. "Whatever you decide, don't take stupid risks." The video ended. The black mirror showed my pale reflection. Next dawn, Jason burst in with a bomb. Vance had quietly rallied the board. An emergency meeting that afternoon would vote to oust Lucian. If it passes, Caldwell's crown jewels slide straight into Vance's pocket. Jason handed me a power suit. "Caldwell wants you there as the largest individual shareholder." That was when I finally understood the divorce papers. Lucian had seen this day coming and signed his shares over to me. "The sec?" A smoke screen. Jason lowered his voice. He let Vance think they'd won, but he stopped, shot a glance at the window, whispered, "The play has to be perfect." In the car, I caught fragments of thought. 3 hours left. Can Jason keep her safe? They were Lucian's, even though he was locked up 20 miles away. Stranger still. When I focused, I could see the room. White walls. Metal chair. Lucian drumming some code on the tabletop with his fingertips. "Turn around." I grabbed Jason. "Head to financial." "Lucian isn't at the sec. He's locked in Vance's old warehouse." Jason stared. "How could you trust me?" As the car screeched through a U-turn, I saw Lucian lift his head and smile as if he'd heard me. Inside the boardroom, Derek was mid-sermon. Caldwell's crisis demands new leadership. The double doors slammed open. I strode in on stilettos. 6 bodyguards behind me, and Lucian, supposedly in custody, buttoning his cuff. Gasps ripped through the room. Derek's face drained of color. How did I get out?" Lucian adjusted his sleeve. "Thank my wife for exposing the real accounting fraud." The wall screen flared to life. Vance's own CFO confessing, followed by files just downloaded from Swiss, every forged ledger Vance had used to frame Caldwell. "Impossible." Derek shot up, eyes bulging, disbelief flooding his face. "There's no way you could have those." Lucian slid a hand into his pocket. "Your father was too sure those Swiss files would stay buried." I brushed the back of his hand with my fingertips. "Thank God she's safe." I bit back a smile. The directors exchanged looks. The eldest stood and bowed. "Caldwell, this time the company owes its survival to you and your wife." Lucian gave a cool nod, while inside he was rolling his eyes. "Last time that geezer voted to kin me, he wasn't so polite." I almost laughed. Back at the mansion, Lucian disappeared into his study, still buried in aftershock paperwork. I hesitated, then pushed the door open. He looked up from a folder. "What's wrong?" I walked straight to his desk. "Lucian, there's something you need to know." He set his pen down, eyes steady on mine. "She looks dead serious. Am I about to get grilled?" I sucked in air. "I can hear your thoughts." The room froze. His expression locked. Pupils flared. "Here, like, literally?" "Exactly that." I plunged on. "Ever since that night, I've been able to hear what's in your head." Lucian stood slowly. "The whole time, every day." The tips of his ears burned crimson. "So she's caught me calling her wifey in my head. The sunrise kiss rehearsals. That's all of it." I cut in. Every cheesy line. Lucian squeezed his eyes shut. Mortified. Silence stretched until he finally stepped closer. Then you know. His voice dropped. Why I married you. It wasn't a question. I nodded. You planned it for years. His fingers curled. Outside, sunset painted the room gold, softening the usual ice on his face. Serena. For the first time he spoke my name like a promise. Since I was 19, every version of my future had you in it. My heart skipped. I saw you once in college and I was gone. He frowned, choosing his words. So I manufactured ways to get near you. I pictured the mental slideshow. Bribing my roommate for my schedule, camping at Blue, the coincidentally engagement party. I widened my eyes. The arranged marriage was your setup? He actually flushed. Legal kidnapping. I punched his arm. I was a nervous wreck. Thinking it was only business. He caught my wrist, tugging me into him. Now you know. His breath grazed my ear. Premeditated. Every single step.